Hi, good morning to one and all. Myself, Dr.A.Jagadhambal, Assistant Professor, BBA Department, Dr. SNS Rajalakshmi College of Arts and Science, Coimbatore. Today we discuss about the ethics in finance. What possible moral decisions are involved in preparing cash flow forecast for a firm, auditing a company, books, or advising a business on how to cost its good or services. The apparent mathematical precision of accountants right cause the public to believe that, at least in so far as they are engaged in accounting procedures, there is no scope for making any kind of ethical decisions. Accountants should present true and fair view. The picture that accountant paints can be either enlightening or misleading, depending on how he or she chooses to deficit it. Even within the law, various maneuvers can be carried out by accountant, which are often regarded as being an ethically gray areas. The most common practices of that kind is known as creative accounting, a phase which is popularly associated with cooking the books in the way which is a legal although moral abuse. The practice of creative accounting, however, is not necessarily unethical. Those who express outrage at the apparent creativity or certain form bookkeeping are often those who limits the accountancy and confined to other own personal accounting and perhaps to organizing small scale events where monetary transactions are clear in unambiguous. In the average company, by contrast, things are seldom so clear. Example, in the course of our employment within a large firm, we are asked to organizing a meeting. How much does it cost to do so? Who wish to call meetings are obliged to cost them first to ascertain whether or not they are justified. In appearance that a meeting cost nothing to all. If attendees are paid, no overtime, no rooms to be hired, no external consultant demanding fees, it could be argued that the costs are zero. Otherwise, it is a more expenses. It is likely that at least three were printed agenda that are telephone cost of calling the meeting. The meeting cost can be calculated on the basis of the cost of materials and services which would have been incurred if no meeting had been contemplated. These methods of costing were negative. Meeting ought to be attended by people since the attendees are present as part of their paid employment. A suitable proportion of salaries should be attributed to the cost of holding in the course of each member's week and they determine what proportion the one time, that is a salary, was attributable. A more conservation approach to execute the heavy workload of attendees while on the other end the employees time. After all, in most firms, employees are worth more to the firm they are paid, that is a opportunity cost are to be worth more to the alternative task. If a member of sales department can sell goods at a profit of say 500 pounds an hour, then the opportunity cost of attending to the firm for holding the meeting or the proportion of total cost of the question different, that is the heating and lighting. There is no clear or right now answer to the holding the meeting means reduction in selling, then the firm might be well advised to include opportunity cost. If the attenders are happy to work unpaid overtime, the more conservative methods of the costing may be appropriated. Just as a poet and a civil engineer might describe the same landscape differently because of different purposes. So, two accountants could present the accounts of the same firm in the two entirely different ways. This is not an unethical. any more than civil engineers, unethical for describing the physical environment in terms of its potential use rather than for its inherent beauty, like the poet. All accounting is to be some extent creative accounting, because there is no clear inarguable answer as to whether we regard something as a cost, as a loss, as an expense, or whatever. Example, a firm whose profit are modest in a given financial year may be decide to sell off some its capital and treat the proceeds as profits. Thank you.